So the idea is to make a terrace street with 28 houses, that's a house per person. Each house has a number and each house will have a little sound clip which is basically a short statement from each householder. We've just asked people to kind of make it like an open door, what they would like to say if somebody came into their house, and you know, we're trying to look at terrorism in its broadest sense and not on a sort of black or white basis. It's, you know, it's just to basically do with people who have a complete disregard for human life, and it's about humanity really, and about just existing alongside one another.
One of the basic things we've been focusing on so far in these past 2 days is terrorists.
We've been learning what we think a terrorist is, and that a terrorist can be anyone.
It's hard to talk about terrorism though, because you don't realise how easy it is to be racist about someone without actually meaning it.
The project started going back in January 2008, and we were introduced to the Prevent agenda, which had just been released by the government. The whole aim of the government was to teach young people about the persuasive narratives involved in extreme violence and groups that were promoting extreme violence around the country. I kind of like went from that initial reaction that all teachers have, which is like, oh, this is really controversial and it's really offensive. I kind of like sat down and thought about it from a teacher's perspective, and from a parent's perspective, and from an adult's perspective. And the conclusion that I drew was that, yes, we have a responsibility here to teach young people about how not to enter into acts of extreme violence, and that helped me to draw that conclusion of, as a responsibility, I've got no choice but to do it.
Since I started on Monday, we were talking about terrorism and extremism and watching videos on people's opinions and ideas on it. On Tuesday we did like a Jerry Springer show, and we, again, about the community issues, like our point of view on it, and we had to like make it funny in a way, but we also had to make it serious so that we told them what we was thinking.
You know, why not use humour to look at some really serious issues that are going on in the world, that, you know, issues that these young people are being bombarded with on a daily basis whenever they switch the TV on.
On Wednesday we did a self-portrait on ourselves, so we had to get like a big A3 piece of paper and charcoal, and we had to draw ourselves, but we weren't allowed to use mirrors.
It was quite hard though, because like, you don't know what other people think of you. So I didn't want to like draw a good one and then people think, well, that's not what I think you like, so you have to try and balance it out a bit.
Today we finished recording the doorbell tunes, and we're going to start doing the rap to our house.
Living together on community clothes.
We've decided to make a rap song which is about bringing everyone together. So we've used the Madness song, Our House.
In the middle of our street. Our house. In the middle of our street.
What I've found over the past couple of years is that young people are more comfortable talking about terrorism than adults are. They're more comfortable talking about cultural conflict, they're more comfortable talking about religious conflict than we are. And we presume that they're not.
Well, on the first day I was scared about things like what people would say about what I was saying, but then once they got their things out, and it was quite similar to mine, so I started to speak out as well.
I was a bit nervous because like I didn't know where I was going, and I knew all people from Accrington Academy will be like looking around and thinking, oh look, it's those people from Hollins and stuff. So I thought it was going to be a bit hard, but it weren't actually as hard as it seemed.
Everyone's just getting along, like we're all gelled now, even though we've been together for about 2 and a bit days, 3 days.
I think as a teacher I do try and make lessons fun, but the more you get to know your students as people, you can then begin to approach them as students. Because if you don't know the person, you've got no chance of getting them open enough to take anything on board. Is that we're not teaching them how to think, we're empowering them with the knowledge so that they can make the right choices for themselves, to make informed choices.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm really excited about all the little houses in the street and how big the shop's going to be and how many people are going to come as well.
Originally what we were going to do is that people were going to pass the shop, be a bit curious, come in, have a conversation, have a look at the students' images and talk to the students. The students weren't having that at all. They were going out and they were saying, oh, right, we're Accrington Academy students and we have got an art display about community issues. Please come in and talk to us. They don't realise that a week before, or 2 weeks before, or 3 weeks before, they would not have been going up to members of the public saying, come and talk to me. And I think that's the beauty of the workshops, because they are so intense for full days. You don't just have them for an hour or two, you've got them together and they kind of like become this little family. And then the thinking all becomes very similar and then everybody starts thinking on the same wavelength.
I think what's good about this project is that it goes outside of the school, so it gives the students an opportunity to have a kind of a real world experience.
I thought it's inspiring. I think the children's messages are positive, very positive, and show that they've got a good understanding.
I think the exhibition is bringing a lot of awareness to residents of the borough. I think you should be congratulated on it.
It's about what's been said. So when you press the buttons and you listen to people talking about issues, then I think it's exceptional. And the fact that tonight we've only been open for an hour and we've already had 40 or 50 of the public in, again shows you how much people are willing to listen if you actually ask them the questions.
These are now our ambassadors. They are out in the public, sharing what they've learnt about themselves, about others, about community. And from then on, we have these community ambassadors. This year we're training the Hollins students to become community ambassadors, and then the community ambassadors together will then go to another school, and it's kind of like teaching them about what being an ambassador is about, representing something really positive and something to share out there in the community.
Yeah, I think the attitude has changed. I've learnt quite a bit.
Doesn't matter what you look like or even like feel like, we're always going to be like humans. Everyone's the same, everyone's equal.
So try and think about what you're going to say before you actually say it, because it can offend people quite badly.
It has been interesting because I've always thought of a lot of the terrorism issues in my point of view and my families and my communities, but like I've not really known from other schools what they think. I think I used to be a little bit more stereotypical before, but now whatever everyone said, like what they've got out, I think it's changed my views a little bit.
I would say don't be afraid to do it. I would really say go out. Your initial thoughts will be quite scary and you will have fears. One of the questions I say when I'm training people on this is that if we don't teach them not to be involved in extreme violence tomorrow, who will?